All right, it has been another day since I have eaten, and I'm going to eat a day's worth of food all at once. Essentially, what we have in this beautiful pot, it's honestly not the prettiest thing. It is a bag of brown rice penne, and it is a box of Super Greens creamy soup, essentially. I didn't know what that was going to be like, if it was enough noodles to creamy soup ratio. But then with the math to make 2,000 calories, whatever, without having to think too hard, I was just short. So I sauteed some Brussels sprouts, about 10 Brussels sprouts, and a quarter of an onion. And I did that to give it some consistency. So that's in there. And that's my day's worth of food. So I'm not going to go for a reference of lasagna challenge, but I do have a big spoon. We're going to see. I did add like garlic salt. It was pretty bland. I did some tastings. It's still really hot. It's like eating a whole bowl of macaroni and cheese. By the end, it's like all cold. It's nice to have the Brussels sprouts and chew on. Could have put more in here. I have a feeling I'm going to run out. But I put half the onions in when I was sauteing, and I put another half in when I was just getting all warm together, because I made all in this pot. Definitely not one step, but very little mess. As far as how many dishes you have to do. But you know, you got to cook the brown rice pasta and then rinse it right away with cold water. I read all the instructions. This is all done basically by instructions and then put together. I'm going to have to save some of the Brussels sprouts. Oh, so there's 10 Brussels sprouts cut in a quarter, so there's 40 chunks of Brussels sprouts. Definitely got to like chew this. I'm not just like slurping it down like the lasagna. Although when I know there's no sprouts, I'm just like, whoop. So back to the onions. So I got like the different consistencies and the flavors from some like sauteed caramelized situation, and then the crisp crunch of the fresh. So yeah, you boil it, then you rinse it. So I just put that aside. I did have to use also like a colander to drain. And then I went overboard. I wanted to see what it was like to blanch the Brussels sprouts first before I like sauteed them, because I heard you could do that. More steps, but again, you know, I boiled the water in here, drained it, and so use a colander, and there was a bowl of ice water involved. But I don't think I will be doing that the next time. If there is, I make this again. Now, for a whole day's worth of food, it is a lot slower to eat. I don't know if I'm going to honestly finish this in the half hour. I was going to try different so the lasagna, I had my giant spork, but I also have a giant fork I don't know. Maybe I can figure out which one's better. For noodles, pasta. You have some garlic powder, some garlic salt. Oh, this is gluten free, and I think I can claim vegan. So hopefully my superpowers will kick in. You know, I gotta say that soup's not bad. You know, I got that. I warmed that up. I did this in reverse, unfortunately. Like, and I was just like, I need to clean out my pantry. What do I got? I love going to the grocery outlet and getting deals on some weird healthy shit. But you know, organic super greens, creamy soup made with organic broccoli, green peas, spinach. 70 calories per serving. There's 4 servings. And there's 23% of your daily sodium allowance is the biggest number on here. So technically I'm having all the sodium I should, but I watched the thing and I learned that it might not necessarily matter how much sodium as long as you don't mix it with too much horrible other stuff. But then this bag of brown rice penne is 200 calories per serving. There's 8 servings, and each serving is 16% of my total carbohydrates. So I'm overdoing my carbs. But with the lasagna, I overdid my protein. And then as far as the oil goes and the Brussels sprouts, again, a whole day's worth of food. So they say. Definitely, I mean, I could have put it in a blender and just drank it. We're not there yet. I don't know. I don't think Big Spork is as productive, but let's try Big Fork. Now this one's really wide. So it does kind of hinder the shoveling in aspect of eating a whole day's worth of food in one sitting. Really not feeling Big Fork. Let's go back to Big Spoon. I can pick through the Brussels sprouts now. It's just food, you know? A lot of it. Maybe halfway through. Oh, I'm getting full. I think that's all I got to say about making it. You know, like traffic was great. I also made this in complete silence. I didn't have any kind of other stimuli. As in, like, music playing or whatever. Just had to think about what I was doing. It always has me thinking about 200 years ago, whenever before electricity, like even like phones or whatever, like music boxes. That's how you got music without someone playing it. There must have been a lot of background noise. Couldn't just like, turn on the TV and just zone out. You're like, oh, I'm just sitting here. A lot of downtime. Either which way you want to look at it. I'm stirring too much. It's starting to fall apart. I should put some hot sauce on it. Oddly enough, I don't have any here. I'm surrounded with it at work, I gotta remember to bring it in. Maybe, I don't know, let's see. I don't know, look at that. Oh, good thing I got up. Nothing in the fridge. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I got a little bit of Tapatio. We got some Tapatio in the cabinet, so we're going to put a dab of that. Dab, dude, now I'm all backwards handed. Well, that ain't a bad gig. Don't want to mix it too much, no. It's rejuvenating. I feel like I could go a little further now. Another thing I was told buffet mentality is you don't want to get a huge scoop of what you like. You want to get one scoop because you can always go back. Because the second you start to feel full, everybody turns off and it's like, hey, we're kind of done with that. So you're like, by that last bite, you're like, this wasn't as good as I thought it was. And you're like, yeah, because you're getting full and your body's like, no. So you get one scoop of everything, you go back. And that way you don't have like a crowded plate. Don't have too much, not less waste. But I feel like adding the hot sauce to this like made it taste different. So my body's like, okay, well, we still feel like we could probably handle some more now. Like you're onto something. Just foraging through my crock pot. Good idea, Lindsay. Thank you. It's not Tabasco or foul mouth, but it is. It makes me feel like a second half team. I mean, it probably would have been good. Or maybe some I could have put some fresh hot peppers, like at least a jalapeno with the sauteing part. Get the oils all going. as it dissipates, because that would be the first step, and then I would. No, you always gotta do the noodles first, but then you saute, and then you can add the soup, and you just warm up the soup, and when the soup gets warm, it's bubbling. Throw in the noodles. They're just chilling. I put mine in the refrigerator, let them, But like at that point, you wouldn't have you. I mean, you'd be half hour into making this. It didn't take me. It didn't take me much more than an hour. Not knowing what I was doing. God dang, that hot sauce was a good idea. It's just enough. I actually tend to enjoy boring food, which is kind of weird, but it's convenient. But I also like weird food. Because I think the boring food keeps the palate kind of neutral. I don't usually add a lot of salt. But now that I saw that thing saying like, oh yeah, you just pee it out, cool. All right, I see that in other places. The algorithm's talking to me. And I've heard that someone was like, oh yeah, you just drink more water, you'll flush it out. I'm like, all right. So, and this is just salt and vinegar with some hot peppers, I'm sure. I don't know. Let's see what this is. Water, red pepper, salt, spices, garlic, acetic acid, xanthan gum, sodium benzoate as a preservative. Yeah, pretty standard issue. They just got their ratios. They do it right. I mean, obviously, I must be a fan. It's in my kitchen. I do have some Taco Bell Blazing packets I discovered cleaning out my cupboard. Seven Ghosts of Gravity took that one. That rejuvenation, maybe it's just the getting up and stretching. This is a long one. It's taking all day to eat all day's worth of food. It's like a game of endurance. I don't know what the scraping of the bowl sounds like. I'm sorry if it's horrible. I don't know how to edit these. I mean, how could I pick which part you should or shouldn't see? And the whole point is, I got nothing else to do while I eat all day's worth of food at once. We're getting full again. Got that second ball. Let's switch up to the big sport, see if that, I don't know, changes anything. I mean, I would say we put a hurting on this. I mean, I'm getting pretty deep. I can see silver at the bottom of the pan. I don't like the way I was holding the big spork. Beep, 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 beep. No? Oh. Ooh. Noise alert. Oh my god, guys, we're so close. Can I do this in 20 minutes? It means I got basically a minute to do it. I don't think I could finish this in a minute. That would just not be comfortable. Be rude to my future self. Although it was a good foundation for a food coma. Well, I'll tell you what. This amount, those two units of food. It's a lot of food in one day. I'm not gonna finish. I don't know. I feel like that's close enough. Just trying to rationalize or something. This is really... I don't know if there's a time limit. I'm still gonna have to watch this whole thing, make sure. There's not like a ghost in the background or something. I had like just aprons I have from, I don't know why, just hanging up on the wall, and one of them decided to jump off the hook today. It's really just like a nail. It makes it look like I got shit on the walls. I feel like if I didn't have the Brussels sprouts in here, I probably would have finished all the noodles faster. We're so close. God, I hope you can't hear that. I mean, if I could put this up for this long, nobody's watching a 22-minute internet video. 20 minutes plus. I mean, I'm calling it. But I just can't take up any more of our time focusing on this. So, thanks for watching, and putting up with it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.